Welcome to Drone Pilot MBA. Today we're taking a deep dive into a really essential topic for anyone in the drone industry, or, well, anyone looking to understand where the aerial economy is truly headed. It's called Decoding the Growth Potential of Your Drone Business.
That's right. And we're digging into this fascinating piece by Tony Marino, who, produces Drone Pilot MBA. What's really compelling, I think, is how he layers his insights right on top of Erik Mintz's profound multi-year research series, Decoding the Drone Industry.
Yeah, it's like getting two expert perspectives in one.
Exactly. It offers this unique and honestly incredibly valuable roadmap for where the whole sector is going.
So our mission today is pretty clear. We want to pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge from these sources. We want to arm you, our listener, with the insights you need to navigate this, rapidly evolving drone landscape.
It's really about shifting that mindset, isn't it? Moving from just being a pilot
to becoming a thriving tech entrepreneur.
Right.
So let's unpack this. Let's get straight to the core. Okay, so Tony Marino kicks us off with a really striking and pretty foundational idea. He says drones are moving fast beyond just being flying cameras. His phrase is powerful. Computers in the sky. So for someone running a drone business right now, what does that actually mean for their day-to-day, for their future?
Well, what's fascinating here is how perfectly this lines up with Erik Mintz's core idea. He sees drones not just as vehicles, right, but as mobile data platforms, basically intelligent flying computers.
Flying computers, I like that.
And Mintz draws this really illuminating parallel to the personal computer industry. Think about it. Before PCs, computing was all huge mainframes, right? Yeah. Only accessible to big corporations, governments.
Right, locked away.
Yeah. PCs democratized computing, made it accessible to, everyone. And drones, in a similar way, are democratizing aerial activities. They're lowering the barriers for things that used to need expensive planes or helicopters or big organizations.
That is a huge shift in perspective, isn't it?
It really is.
So it means if your business is, still primarily just capturing basic photos or videos, you might find yourself getting left behind pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's the risk.
You really need to start thinking about how you collect, process, and then, crucially, deliver genuinely actionable data. Data that solves real complex problems for your clients. But what does actionable data actually look like in practice?
Exactly. And the key takeaway here, something both Marino and Mintz really hammer home, is that software is becoming just as important as the hardware, the drone itself. The real value isn't just in getting the raw footage anymore.
Okay.
It's created in the data processing, the analysis, the insights you pull from it. So imagine like a thermal inspection of solar panels. A basic flight might just show you some hot spots. Okay. Useful, maybe.
Sure, you see a red spot.
Right. But a data-centric service. It delivers precise, quantified thermal reports. It pinpoints the exact panel failures, estimates the power loss, maybe even integrates with maintenance software to automatically trigger a repair order.
Okay. That's transforming the raw data into something valuable.
Exactly. Valuable, actionable intelligence that saves clients actual time and money. So it's about flexible, upgradable sensors, different payloads, and crucially, the intelligence you apply after the flight is done.
That distinction, raw footage versus actionable intelligence, that's incredibly powerful. And building on that, Marino then hits on another critical point, the power of a clear category. He warns that if your marketing is just, hey, we do everything with drones, you're actually doing your clients a disservice. You're not helping them understand your unique value. This seems kind of intuitive, but why is it so vital, especially for an emerging industry like drones?
Well, this connects directly to Mintz's really extensive multi-year research on category creation. His work highlights just how crucial a dominant category label is for a new industry to really, take off.
A dominant label.
Yeah. When there's category confusion, when potential buyers don't have a clear mental box to put your service into, they take a wait and see attitude. It's human nature.
Right. They hesitate.
Totally. Think about the early smartphone market. Mintz points out there were over 200 different labels floating around. Pocket computer, camera phone, PDA.
Wow, 200. That's chaos.
It was chaos. But once smartphone emerged as the clear, dominant label, boom, demand accelerated because buyers finally understood what they were getting. It clarified the value. It solved that cognitive burden for the customer.
So it's about reducing that mental friction, making it effortless for them to grasp exactly what you do. And if people immediately get the category you own, Mintz says they trust you faster, they see you as the expert, and this is key, they'll pay you more. It really is about strategically naming your lane, isn't it? But how does a drone business actually do that effectively? Define and own that lane.
Right. So Marino advises defining your niche with almost like surgical precision. Instead of just, we do inspections, it's much stronger to say, we specialize in roof inspections for insurance adjusters delivering AI-powered damage assessments.
Very clear.
Or we provide precision agriculture insights for large-scale corn and soybean farms. See the difference? It means using industry standard terms where you can and focusing really intensely on solving one specific painful problem for a specific type of client better than anyone else.
And that clear communication, it's not just marketing fluff.
Not at all. It actually stimulates demand because it helps potential buyers realize, oh, I do have that problem, and you have the specific solution. It positions you to lead, not just compete on price in some crowded, undifferentiated space. It builds your reputation as the expert.
Okay, so we've talked about thinking like a data platform, specializing your offer. But even the most specialized platform won't scale if it's just operating in a vacuum, right?
Good point. No.
Which brings us to Marino's next really critical observation. Drones don't work alone. They succeed as part of a, quote, growing ecosystem. And he points out, infrastructure is coming. What does this connected future actually look like? And how should a drone business owner be preparing right now?
Yeah, this is a truly crucial point for Mintz, too. He argues the drone industry is kind of patiently waiting for its internet moment.
Its internet moment?
Yeah, like a grand convergence of both physical and digital infrastructure that will finally enable scaled, widespread operations. We're not just talking about a few more drones flying around. It's a complete transformation of how we use airspace.
Okay, break that down. What kind of infrastructure are we talking about?
We're talking comprehensive UTM, that's uncrewed traffic management systems, allowing hundreds, maybe thousands of drones to fly safely, all coordinated. We're talking scaled BVLOS beyond visual line of sight regulations, finally letting drones operate autonomously over long distances. That's a game changer.
It's huge.
And the physical stuff, too. Dedicated drone corridors, strategically located landing hubs, sometimes called vertiports, plus the critical back-end stuff like robust AI and advanced data analysis platforms to handle all that information.
Wow. So it's a whole system.
It's a whole system. And the most forward-thinking drone businesses, they're already strategically building ecosystem partnerships with data companies, software firms, sometimes even competitors.
Interesting. Even competitors.
Yeah, to deliver these more comprehensive sort of turnkey solutions. They're not just selling a flight, they're selling a fully integrated problem-solving service package.
So for you listening, as a drone business owner, this isn't some sci-fi future thing. It's happening now.
It's starting, yeah.
Which means getting proactively involved, right? Local networks, staying totally on top of FAA updates, other regulatory changes, maybe experimenting in those pilot-friendly zones where new concepts get tested.
Absolutely. And Marino and Mintz both highlight this interesting shift. Compliance is evolving from a barrier to a growth channel.
Okay, explain that. How is compliance a growth channel?
It means it's no longer just about following rules to avoid getting fined. It's about strategically positioning your agency to actually support these new airspace models, being ready for BVLOS, having the right safety protocols, the right data handling. That becomes a competitive advantage.
So what are some concrete steps a business can take then?
Well, definitely training for advanced flight scenarios and crucially for BVLOS operations, even if they aren't fully mainstream everywhere yet. Be ready. Build rigorous standard operating procedures, SOPs for high-scale operations, not just one-off jobs. And Mintz actually takes it a step further. He advocates for a fundamental shift in how regulation itself is developed. He suggests a technology-led regulatory approach, maybe a new body. He throws out the name AURA Authority for Uncrewed Regulatory Advancement, staffed mainly by technologists, industry experts.
Instead of just traditional aviation regulators.
Exactly. His argument is, look, the FAA is excellent at traditional manned aviation safety, but it wasn't built for the speed of drone tech. Useful lifespans are like 3-5 years, software updates every few weeks.
Yeah, totally different pace.
Right. So this new approach, he contends, would let regulation move at the speed of software, actually fostering innovation instead of sometimes accidentally slowing it down, building a framework that adapts.
That's really forward thinking. A more responsive regulatory environment makes sense. But okay, as we look at all these advancements, the tech getting more accessible, Marino gives us a pretty stark warning, but a necessary one. As more pilots enter the market, prices for just basic services, they're inevitably going to drop. How does your business avoid becoming just another low-cost option? How do you avoid that race to the bottom he talks about?
Yeah, and Mintz totally seconds this, bringing up lessons from, you guessed it, the PC industry again.
Right.
The very openness of the IBM PC's architecture, which was great for innovation and created this huge market, it also led directly to rapid commoditization, intense price wars.
Because everyone could build a clone.
Exactly. Once everyone could build a PC clone, differentiating got really, really hard. So both Marino and Mintz are emphatic, do not race.
About it.
Okay, so what's the alternative? Instead, you need to specialize deeply. Lead your chosen niche. Become the absolute, undeniable go-to expert in a valuable area. Offer those high-trust services that are just really difficult for a generalist, maybe someone just starting out, to replicate properly. Build a recognizable, respected brand that stands for quality, reliability, specific solutions, not just cheap flights.
So it's really about building a business based on strategy, reputation, delivering results consistently, rather than just being the cheapest person offering basic flight time.
Precisely.
And the good news here, maybe, is that unlike the early PC market, where IBM was this huge, dominant standard setter, which kind of contributed to that commoditization, the drone industry's current landscape seems much more diverse, more decentralized. Does that give businesses a better shot at avoiding that commoditization trap?
It absolutely does. That's a key point Mintz makes. The drone industry still lacks a single dominant standard-setting company like IBM was back then, and that actually fosters an environment that's really ripe for differentiation.
More room to stand out.
Exactly. It allows for diverse innovation, all kinds of specialization. Companies can distinguish themselves not just with proprietary tech, but maybe through open standards, modular solutions, or by focusing laser-like on those high-value niche markets we talked about. This decentralized nature encourages a vibrant, competitive, genuinely innovative market where specialization and, deep problem solving can actually thrive. It lets businesses escape that race to the bottom by creating truly unique value.
Okay, this all leads perfectly into Tony Marino's final thought in his article, which really encapsulates this entire shift we've been discussing. He says, stop thinking like a flyer. Start thinking like a tech entrepreneur. This isn't just like a moment of steady growth for drones. It feels like a full-on foundational evolution of an entire industry.
Absolutely. And Mintz's research, it really backs this up. He argues the drone industry isn't just an extension of traditional aviation. He calls it a parallel industry, a new industry masquerading as a subsector of aviation.
Wow, a new industry masquerading.
Yeah. And he sees the potential for the drone economy to be even more disruptive than the PC revolution was. And the PC revolution reshaped almost everything.
Why more disruptive, though?
Because drones bridge the physical and digital worlds in a way PCs never really could. They are mobile computing platforms that directly interact with, capture data from, and sometimes even manipulate our physical environment.
Right, they're out in the world.
Exactly. And this transformation, amplified like crazy by AI advancements, is going to accelerate automation and precision everywhere. Construction, agriculture, logistics, public safety, you name it. It's about harnessing that full potential, which, much like the PC before the internet, really needs its internet moment, that convergence of physical and digital infrastructure to truly unlock its global impact.
Okay, so for you, our listener, wrapping this all up, we want to leave you with this provocative thought. Given that drones are truly becoming computers that fly and the whole industry seems poised for this internet moment, this convergence of infrastructure for scaled operations, what unique high-value problem are you best positioned to solve for your clients?
Good question.
Think beyond just the flying part. Think about delivering genuinely valuable data, insights that can fundamentally reshape their world, their business. What specific, maybe painful problem can your drone business solve better than anyone else by turning that raw data into powerful, actionable intelligence? Something to really chew on. Be sure to read the full article and much more at aerialnorthwest.com. Thanks for joining us and keep on droning.